Hello and welcome to another episode of The Legacy Lore. In honor of the new Fusion Fall Legacy dev blog, here's the lore of Boomer, the reformed juvenile, Jackie Khones, the private eye, and the case of the missing Townsville Zoo animals. The Rowdy Rough Boys were created by Mojo Jojo using snips and snails and puppy dog tails in order to replicate the power of the famous crime-fighting superheroes, the Powerpuff Girls. While they were outright destroyed the first time they encountered the girls, they were later revived by him and continued to cause havoc on the city of Townsville. They were created to be evil, and the trio never really questioned why. After constant fighting against the Powerpuff Girls, one of the members in particular grew tired of the constant tomfoolery that the boys participated in. His mind always wandered wherever it felt like, and one day it lingered onto a certain question. Why? He started to question why. Why do they always have to do bad things? Why do they constantly hinder the people of Townsville instead of helping them with their superpowers? Why does everyone have to hate them? And why on earth are they fighting against the Powerpuff Girls, who are undeniably fighting for the good of justice? This boy was Boomer. After the question of why popped into his head, he wasn't getting the same rush as his brothers got when they were on their crime sprees. What he found most confusing was that his brothers didn't seem to feel the same way. He wanted to use his superpowers to help those who couldn't help themselves, and he could tell Brick and Butch loathed the idea. Boomer shrugged and started to realize that he was starting to separate from his brothers in terms of ideals. He eventually stopped going out on crime sprees with them, which his brothers didn't seem to mind at all. They had always considered him the weakest link, and partially through denial that he might be going good, they convinced themselves that he would just slow them down anyway, and paid little attention. When Fuse invades Earth, Boomer sees this as the perfect opportunity for him and his brothers to turn over a new leaf and start helping the war effort. When he suggests his idea to his brothers, Brick and Butch fall over laughing, much to Boomer's displeasure. When the two realize he's serious, they take on a much darker tone. They tell him to get lost and to come back when they realize being good isn't fun. Brick and Butch skip town, flying north, thinking that Boomer will come crawling back to them in a couple of days. He never does. Now alone, Boomer had no idea what to do or where he should go. He went to the one person he knew he would be able to shed some light on the situation, Professor Utonium, creator of the Powerpuff Girls. After telling the professor his situation, he recommended to Boomer that he should go talk to either Blossom or Bubbles, since if there's anything to know about being good, Townsville's best superheroes would be able to guide him along the right path. Boomer was immediately drawn to the idea of asking Bubbles for help. After all, she's essentially me, but just a girl, and a hero, right? Were his thoughts. Boomer couldn't do it. He stood at the steps of Townsville Hall, nervous as all heck. What if she wasn't willing to forgive him for all the evil stuff he's done? What if he actually was evil and couldn't help it but just attack her by nature? He certainly didn't want to hurt anyone. What if he messes this up? This would be his only shot at turning over a new leaf and finally getting someone to like him. He was horrified. Boomer eventually mustered up the courage to approach Bubbles and, after a bit of initial tensions, as Bubbles assumed this was some sort of a trap, but then recalled she hadn't really seen Boomer doing crimes with his brothers for a while, they started discussing this whole hero business. When Boomer asked Bubbles what she would do in this situation, she mentioned how she would love to help find the escaped animals from Townsville Zoo, but she couldn't because she was too busy with the mayor. The opportunity had presented itself, but Boomer still felt like he wasn't able to go through with it. The years and years of being picked on by his brothers had destroyed what little of his self-esteem he had left. Fortunately for him, Bubbles was touched that he was trying to do the right thing, and encouraged him to go find the missing animals. Plus, Bubbles figured this might be her only shot at getting help to look for them. Boomer agreed, but didn't know where to start. He eventually heard word of a master sleuth who lived at Foster's home for imaginary friends on Wilson Way, so he headed in that direction, hoping to get some assistance in solving this case. Meanwhile, an angry mob of imaginary friends, short, small, weird, wacky, simple, clean, blue, red, orange, and every other combination of colors, was brewing inside Foster's. They were all pounding on the door of the ladies' restroom on one of the upper floors of the house. Inside the room, Jackie Khones, private eye, was sitting quietly at his office, eating a bag of barbecue chips. The mob outside consisted of clients that hadn't gotten many results on their cases that he took on. Slowly pushing through the crowd, Boomer eventually enters the room and asks Jackie if he can help him find the zoo animals. Jackie is reluctant at first, but realizes that this is an opportunity to get away from the angry mob outside, so he agrees for the low price of just 2 sandwiches a day, plus chips. And thus, these two began their adventure together, where they, along with a helpful hand from Bubbles and you, will try to find and locate the missing Townsville Zoo animals. Happy hunting! And that is the lore for Boomer and Jackie Khones. I really hope you enjoyed watching. The team was very excited to put this devlog together with all these new characters, and we just hope you enjoyed it as much as we do. So I hope you enjoyed watching. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy the Jackie Khones and Boomer NPCs and Nanos in the game, as well as the very new Townsville Zoo area coming to Fusion Fall Legacy. Catch you later.